eventually transferred to the High Court for trial. There's a procedure that you have to go through. That's a pre-trial procedure where all parties meet and they indicate if they're ready for trial. That will happen on the 19th of July. The matter was now transferred for trial in the High Court, Palm Ridge High Court, on the 25th of October. I'm very disappointed. I've now established that no new arrests will be made. I'm very critical of the fact that no arrests will be made. We thought that in October, when we appeared last, that there was enough evidence in the case docket. I had a briefing from the police and police management. They've indicated to me that they've collected even more evidence against the mastermind. So I'm very disappointed that the mastermind has not been arrested. I wrote letters to the MPA saying that I'm utterly disappointed that we don't have the mastermind here. I don't understand that. I've had briefings from the South African Police Service. They feel very strongly, the investigating team, that there's enough evidence to arrest the mastermind. You know what happened? In October last year, the Minister of Police visited the family. The Minister of Police in October last year indicated that there indeed is a mastermind. He also divulged the identity of the mastermind to the family. Now we're 4 months later. The police have collected more evidence, but we're still without a mastermind. But what's more troubling to me is, I have the indictment here. In terms of the indictment, the state is going to trial on a robbery that went wrong. But, a robbery that went wrong excludes a mastermind and a contract killing. So I hope, and I have to trust, that before we get to trial, that will be sorted out, so that we know, is there a mastermind, is there enough evidence? I think there is, but let us just find out why the mastermind is not before court.
Brigadier, you also referred to the contractual killing in your evidence. You remember?
I do recall, ma'am.
Yes. What did you mean by referring to a contractual killing?
I meant the deceased was assassinated. It was an assassin, my lord. There was a plot and a conspiracy to have him killed. And I said you will find that, as I said, as early as before even exhibit HH and JJ, the first confession that was made by accused one, then you will find that there was an instruction to have the deceased killed, and the purpose, or rather the reward for that killing, was the payment of money. So then there was an arrangement for the deceased to be assassinated, my lord.
Ukhulumile ke ukuthi kwahlelwa ke mina nokuthi ke umufi ke abulawe ke nabe athi usokuthi ke ngalokho ke uyasho ukuthi lokhu uhlelo ke abahlala phansi bese bakhuluma ke ngalo khulumisana ke ngalo ke futhi ke lapho ke isibonelo sakhona ke ngibuza ukuthi ke umufi ke abulawe ke kade kuzoba ke ukhokhelwa ke ngokwemali.
Okay, you say there was an instruction from who?
From Miss Kelly Khumalo, my lord.
La uthi kona ke bekunomuntu bekakhuluma ukuthi kwamele ukuthi lokhu kwenzeke uyasho ukuthi uKelly Khumalo ke loyo ke.
Okay. Is there evidence relating as to how that instruction was communicated?
Ngabe khona yini ufakazi okusitshengisayo ukuthi leyo nkulumo ke le yahlelwa kanjani?
Maybe if I've missed it in the dockets, the information relating to the instruction per se that was given by Miss Kelly Khumalo to the accused.
Mhlambe ke umeli akalokho akagonile lapho ke kuma-docket mhlambe ngabe khona yini inkulumo eqhamukile ekhona njengofakazi eqhamuka kuKelly Khumalo esho khona lokho?
Yes, my lord, you'll find it in the confessions. Accused one.
Athi yebo lokho uyakuthola ke lapho kuma-confessions la umuntu ekade akhuluma ke iqiniso khona ke uyasho ukuthi umsola wokuqala
indicates that the killing was because of Miss Kelly Khumalo who gave the instruction, and subsequently accused two also said the same thing in his confessions, and those confessions are part of the court record, my lord.
Uyasho khona ngalo ukuthi lapho ke umsola wokuqala wakhuluma mayana lapho kwinkulumo yakhe confession ukuthi uKelly Khumalo owasho ukuthi abenzelwe ababulale ke lapho ke futhi nomsola wesibili ke lamela nodaba le confession yakhe naye lokho ke wakhuluma.
Besides the information that is contained in those two confession statements, is there any other independent information relating to the instruction which is alleged to have been given by Ms. Kelly Khumalo?
Ngaphandle kwala ma-confessions amabili okhulumile ngawo ke ngabe kukhona yini mhlambe enye ingazelo ekhona ke njengohlelo njengodaba lofakazi la uKelly Khumalo washo khona ukuthi ababulayo?
My lord, if the question is to say was the witness present when the instruction was given by Ms. Kelly Khumalo to the accused, we don't have that witness, my lord. If perhaps that's what Advocate Mchololo is asking me.
uyasho khona njalo umfakazi uthi uma ngabe mhlawumbe kwafuna umfakazi othizeni okhuluma lokho uthi ngesikhathi ufuna inkulumo leyo ke kade akhona-ke uyasho cha umfakazi onjalo-ke abanayo-ke.
No, I'm not specific to say is there any witness to that effect. I said, is there any other independent evidence relating to the instruction which is alleged to have been given by Ms. Kelly Khumalo other than the information contained in the two statements?
Uyabuza-ke ummeli ukuthi ngabe kukhona yini okuyifakazi obahamba bodwana okusho lokho okuchaza leyo ncazelo ukuthi uKelly Khumalo uyena owathupha noma ukhuluma ukuthi akubulawa ngaphandle nje kwalobo bufakazi obubili okhulumile ngako-ke lo bufakazi lobu confession kamsola wokuqala futhi nomsola wesibili.
My lord, what you have corroborating evidence because you have this assertion made, then you have, for example, the statement of Zungu, Mr. Zungu, who is a police officer, who narrates what happened on that day and corroborate or say things that seems to corroborate what is contained in those statements. You have the statement of Simpiwe, Sifiso Zungu, Kwabeni, who say certain things insofar as what happened prior to that deceased being killed. In other words, all the 5 accused meeting at Basuchini Hostel, departing, coming back, accused one announcing that now have they heard that SENZO Meyiwa has been killed. And I've testified about this, my lord, that at this stage, it was before even the media covered the killing of the deceased. So and then you have Simpiwe Buthelezi, who implicate accused, I think 3 and 4, about their involvement in this matter. Simply Buthelezi. So if you take, and this is now independent from the confessions, my lord. So if you take the confessions coupled with collaboration of what happened, what witnesses saw, and those whom the accused or somebody that we spoke to, if you take them into a totality, my lord, as a collaboration, it does create an impression that indeed this would have been a conventional killing. Because in my investigation, my lord, I found no evidence that suggests that any of these accused had a quarrel or anger or hatred with the deceased. They were not even in the same profession, so there is no reason that they would have been in conflict with the deceased, my lord.
Uyasho ukuthi khona-ke khona kufakazi kwabantu-ke obuningi la obuhambisanayo futhi obukhuluma ke intoda futhi obuxhumanayo-ke ufakazi bakhona-ke la kodwa kusho khona ukuthi babona-ke abasolwa beqhamuka-ke lapho ke behlanganela khona-ke bonkana futhi behamba bephila futhi bebuya-ke futhi la khona kade khona-ke umsolwa futhi wagcina-ke asho ukuthi ngabe suzwile yini ekuthizeni uSenzo Meyiwa sele abulewe-ke futhi kunomfakazi uma ungalandela ubufakazi bakamnumzana-ke uZungu futhi bayahambisana futhi bachazela nje kahle ukuthi ngabe yini eyenzeka futhi umfakazi wakhe uSimpiwe Sifiso Buthelezi-ke naye owakhuluma ukuthi ngabe yini eyenzeka ngesikhathi isizwe abatshela-ke lapho-ke kepha-ke uyasho ukuthi mayelana nokubona kwakhe-ke nokuphenya kwakhe kwecala uyasho ukuthi akukho la ngasho khona-ke ukuthi-ke kade kungekho-ke ukuzwana phakathi kwabasolwa futhi nomufi ngoba-ke kade bengekho kumkhakha nje owodwa futhi-ke noma kade kungekho ukuzondana phakathi komufi futhi nolokuzana nabasolwa.
And you also confirmed previously in your examination in chief that Ms. Kelly Khumalo was never confronted with any evidence that you have just referred to.
Usoshile ukuthi inkosazana bathi uKelly Khumalo abakaze bamkhulumisa bamlande bambuzeke mina nofakazi onabo lapho wenakhe.
Correct, my lord, and I gave the reasons as to why.
Yebo kunjalo futhi ngapha ngichaze ukuthi kungani lokho kwenzekile.
Thank you, my lord. I've got no further questions.
Family, let's talk about what GERRIE NEL said about Kelly Khumalo, which is mastermind. Investigation of the police or investigation by Brigadier Kinenda. Neil was convinced that there was a mastermind as much as the evidence that was, or the evidence that came from the IOs who were investigating the case of SENZO Mehiwa. But to my surprise, and to Neil's surprise, there was no mastermind that was arrested, but the people who were believed to be sent by mastermind and the mastermind that was known by the police was never arrested, and she was shelled. What was the reason behind shielding mastermind? Was there any mastermind in this game? Or it was just a cooked mastermind. Because when we look at this case as it's running now, we have a belief that there was no mastermind. But what we see there, we see the judge, we see Baloyi, we see Brigadier Kininda giving evidence on a defensive way. What do I mean when I say in a defensive way? I mean the way they're giving the evidence, it shows that they have got more to hide. Because every time when we look at Rata, he's always hard on the defense side. But when it comes to the state witnesses, he's always complying with them and on their side. It has been happening during the time when Mgomezulu was still in the case before he left this world. However, as much as Neil was so convinced that through the evidence that he was given that there was a mastermind, and analyzing what is really going on in court, as for now, we feel that there was no mastermind, but there is a shielding of 375 pushing 636 as a legit case. But when you look at the evidence that is in 636, it's based on nothing. It's either it's based on the confessions that the accused are denying, it's either it's based on phone records, of which there is no link when you come to listening to the evidence of from Vodacom, which is the service provider. But on the side of the investigators, there is evidence that was downloaded on PDF, not on PDF, because the PDF they could not fiddle with it. Then they brought Excel, whereby they can edit the evidence of the phones. Because with the service provider, there was no link between Kelly Khumalo and the accused. So, as the case is moving, we realize that there's more that we don't know, or there is more that is being hidden to the Meyiwa family, to the public at large, who really want to know exactly how SENZO's life was deleted. We still have no evidence that is pointing as to how SENZO's life was deleted, because the 5 accused, when it comes to DNA, they are excluded. When it comes to swap of DNA to and the head, they are also excluded. When it comes to the gun, or before the gun, the complexion, how the people who were in the house identify the suicide intruders, it still shows that accused number 3, with his complexion, gold tooth and everything, it doesn't put him in the scene. There are many loopholes in the 636 case that shows that the cooking has gone wrong, but they're trying to push it and push their narrative. We saw in the last instance whereby the judge tend to give evidence or tend to help Brigadier Kininda when he was struggling to answer questions. Is the judge biased, or is the judge impartial? We don't know. But what we see or what we hear, it leaves us with a million questions to be answered. This is a lot that the judge has done. And Baloyi, I don't know why he did not charge Kelly Khumalo to be in the dock to show that they were bringing a case that is legit, because there will be no confusion if that was true, that Kelly Khumalo was mastermind. However, when we look at the evidence that is being given to the court, it also leaves us with a million questions. I don't know how Neil was convinced that there was mastermind, but as far as we look at this case for now, the people in the dock are not supposed to be there, allegedly. For a reason that Kininda knows, he has brought them into this dock to answer questions or to answer to the case of SENZO Mehiwa deleted, but it doesn't answer us as to who was the mastermind. Family, let's drop our comments respectfully and not forget to like, share and subscribe. Ngithanda nonke ngothando lwalapha. Thikeni bantu bakithi noma izindlu zodala kusekhaya la. Let's keep the fire burning until we get answers as to how SENZO Mehiwa was deleted and the family can get closure. Bravo, bravo.